Good morning and welcome back to my channel. Imagine I told you today that if you're able to run 100 miles in 1 month, I would give you $1 million. I guarantee you that no matter what kind of shape you're in, that most of us will find a way to make it happen, to get that money. Now imagine I also told you that the only way that you can stay alive is that every 24 hours, you have to run 1 kilometer. And that the day that you missed it, you would not wake up the next day. I also guarantee you that every single one of us will make it happen, will find a way to make it happen every day. And so what does that tell us? That tells us that ultimately, the biggest thing that influences whether or not we do something or we stick to a plan is the why behind it. It's the why behind why we do the things that we do or why we want to do the things that we do. So today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the tips that I learned over time through trial and error and my own experience for smashing your goals. And I guarantee you, if you follow these tips, and these are not just imaginary, these are tangible things that I've done in my life and that have helped me be successful in all the things that I've set out to be successful at, in most of them. So, if you're struggling with your goals, if you're struggling with executing and actually accomplishing your goals in whatever aspect of your life, then this is the video for you. Because I'm going to share in this video a very, very simple blueprint that if you follow, I guarantee you, you're going to smash those goals that you've always had. And in addition to that, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you an opportunity to connect with other people that have similar objectives, with whom you can work to support each other and hold each other accountable to actually achieve the goals that you're setting out to achieve. So unlike in the past where I would just talk, I am doing things a little differently this time, where I am really working to create forums, support systems where people can work together to actually grow and accomplish their goals. So stick to the end to get all this information. So the first thing with setting out to do something is figuring out why you want to do this. Why is this important to you? Why do you want to improve your fitness? Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Take time to think about this why and find a way to make this why tangible. For example, when I worked in a factory a few years ago as a plant manager, one of the things that we did is that we asked every employee to bring a picture of their family, a family picture. We put this family picture at the entrance of the factory. And it was just a bunch of pictures of everyone. So you had like 200 family pictures on this big board. And on the top of the board, it said, "This is my why. This is the reason why I want to stay safe at work. This is the reason why I need to follow safety principles so I can go back to my family. This is my why. These are the people for whom I am doing what I am doing." And every morning when people come into work and they see that, it reminds them of why it's important to follow their safety rules and to work safely and not to get hurt. So that's a very tangible example of like a visual why that reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing on a daily basis. So another example of a why that I did personally a few years ago is that there was a point in my life where I put on a lot of weight. And usually when I put on weight, it's very visible on my face. And being very uncomfortable with that idea, I decided to take a selfie of myself, which I put as a screensaver. So every time I unlocked my phone, I saw my face, my overweight face. And it was a reminder of my why. The why I don't want, this is not who I want to be. This is not what I want to represent. And the reminder that even when I didn't feel like it, by seeing that, it reminded me that I needed to push myself to work harder. That's a why. And this is the most important part of your motivation for doing something. So take time. First step, take time and think about your why and find a way to create some kind of a visual for it and put it in a place that you can see on a regular basis that's going to remind you of it. That's the first thing. And like I said, at the end, we're going to go through discussions on different whys. And if you have questions around, what your why could be, please feel free to join the forum and then we can talk about it. Once you've determined your why and found a way to make it tangible and visible to you on a regular basis, the next thing is the goals. And goals are not as simple as we think. There's so many aspects of the goal that are critical to how successful we're going to be. And one of the main reasons why we fail at things is that we set bad goals. Either we set bad goals or we set too many goals. So in this part, we're going to be talking about goals and how to set good goals. So prior to setting goals, there's one thing that I learned recently, which is so important in how we think about our goals. I learned that there are two kinds of goals. The first kind of goal is your input goals, and the second kind of goal is your output goal. And what's your input goal? Input goal is a goal that is defined by effort, right? By an action. Input goals are goals like walk a mile every day, drink 1 liter of water every day, call your dad every day. That's an input goal. It's based simply on actions, effort, and things that you do that you do personally. Output goals, however, are based on results of the actions that you put in, right? So an output goal could be something like to lose weight, lose 20 pounds. That's a result of an effort. It's a result of an input goal, is to lose weight. Getting married or finding a partner is a result of an input goal, which is maybe to start online dating profile. And so you have input goals, which are the action, the effort that's being put in, and you have output goals, which are the results of these efforts. And input goals are very simple, straightforward, straight to the point, and output goals are more complex. They're not always within our control. They're usually more complex. Have other things that influence them happening versus the input goals are usually entirely within our control. And what I've learned over time in my own experience is that when we want to set goals in the beginning, it is so important that we start with input goals only. So based on my experience, the most efficient way to go from input to output is to start with input goals, which are entirely within your control. Once you do the input goals over a certain period of time, they will allow you to build habits. Once you build these habits over time, and you do that consistently enough, These input goals are going to become easier and easier. And naturally, you're going to improve these input goals. And over time, they'll lead to your output. But the key here is two things: consistency and patience. The problem that we have these days is that we are so obsessed with results that we start with the results in mind. And when we don't get the results within the time that we want, we get discouraged. And so my advice is, if you want to get something done, forget about the result for now. Commit to doing something that is fully within your control at a regular basis, consistently. I guarantee you, if you do that consistently, over time, this is going to become a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it's going to become easier. And then when it becomes easier, you're going to do more and more of it. And if you do that consistently enough, then it's going to create the output that you want. So then, once you have figured out what your input goal is going to be, the next thing then is to put a plan together for that input goal. And this is another very, very, very important part: planning. I think oftentimes we want to do things and we just have a general idea. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. Oh, I'm going to, eat healthy, this. But that's not good enough. Success of our goals is in the details. So if you plan to go to the gym 5 times a week, then break down exactly what time you're going to go to the gym, exactly what sequence you're going to follow when you go to the gym. So I'll go to the gym, I get to the gym at 5 p.m. From 5 to 5:15, I'm going to be warming up. I'm going to walk 1 hour, 10 minutes on the treadmill. After that, I'm going to go to the specific machine and do a specific weight, and then go to the other one and do a specific weight. Have a plan laid out for every day. The more structure you have in your plan, I guarantee you the more successful you're going to be with executing the plan. The more openness and the more grayness there is in your plan, the less successful you're going to be. Guaranteed. The next thing, once you have a plan put in place, is your routine and consistency. I cannot say this enough. I think we often, when we make plans or we set goals, we often want to go very aggressive. We want to say, oh, I haven't worked out for a while, but I want to run 5 miles every day. I believe I can do it. That's the wrong approach. Because what happens when you set too aggressive goals is that, yeah, you may have the motivation for 2 days to do it, but then it requires so much energy that afterwards you get discouraged. So for me, the trick is to set goals that are simple and easy. If you want to start reading more, well, decide that every day you're going to read 2 to 4 pages of your book. 2 to 4 pages of your book. And do that consistently every day. If you want to get in better shape, rather than saying, oh, you're going to work out every day and run or this, just say you're going to walk for 10 minutes every day. That's it. Say you're going to walk for 10 minutes every day. And create goals that are simple, that when you think about doing them, you don't feel anxious, and then do them consistently. And one thing that I've learned about planning or setting a routine is that a good way to make sure that we stick to our goals, to our plans, is to tie our plans or a specific new routine to something that we do every day anyways, right? So for example, I started a routine a few months ago about doing 20 push-ups before I take a shower at night. Since I know I'm going to be taking a shower every night, in my bathroom next to my shower stuff and my towel, I have a reminder to do my push-ups. And so every time before I get in the shower, I see it, I get a reminder to do my push-ups, and I do them. So tie your goals or your plans to something that you do every day. And it's going to remind you, it's going to give you incentive to do it on a regular basis. The next thing about your planning and your goals is documentation of them. I cannot say this enough. When you put a plan in place, write it out, write it down, write it on your phone, write it on a book, write it on your diary, wherever you want to write it. Write down what your plan is, and then document your progress over time. So if you say you're going to do 20 push-ups every day, create a notepad in your phone with dates on them. And every day that you do them, check off. Every day you do them, check off. Or whatever the case may be, whatever way you want, maybe on your fridge or wherever you want to do it, document how well you're following your plan. Not only does it give you a sense of self-satisfaction, but then it's a way to check yourself after a certain period of time and readjust, to make adjustments if needed. But very, very important, make sure that you document your progress. The next thing with achieving your goals is accountability. This is another very, very big part of success, is having some accountability. And this can be in many ways. One way to have accountability is that you can find a partner with whom you're going to share this goal and you can hold each other accountable. You can tell someone that you respect or someone that is close to you that can check on you and make sure that they hold you accountable to doing the things that you set out to do. Could be your partner, could be your friend, could be your family, could be anyone. Someone with whom you can share your goal and say, hey, they can check on you on a regular basis to make sure this is happening. One last option, which is something that I think as Africans we don't have the culture of doing, is that you can hire someone to help you achieve your goals. And I use myself as an example. 4 years ago, when I was struggling with my fitness, I actually paid for a personal trainer for 3 months. And at the time, people were telling me, oh, why would you do that? That's just such a waste of money. You can just look up online, you can do this, and you've been working out so you know what to do. And I always told them that sometimes in life, you have to recognize that you don't have the self-discipline required to do certain things. And you need other people to hold you accountable to help you out. And that's what I did. So accountability is a big part. As you're putting a goal together, look around you and ask yourself, who can I use as my accountability partner? Because this is going to be part of what helps keep you on track. The next thing then is, once you've done all these things, and you've set the plans, you've set your routine, you set your accountability partner, you start documenting your progress, it is very important that you always take a step back to celebrate your wins. If you set out to walk 10 minutes every day, and you do that for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, celebrate it. However you want, celebrate it. It takes effort, commitment, so celebrate it. I think it's something that we don't do enough. Oftentimes, we wait for other people to validate our success, or wait for other people to give us permission to celebrate certain things or to tell us the things that are worth celebrating, which is a mistake. Celebrate your own wins however you feel fit. And the last part of it all is that over time, as you document yourself, review the data that you have on yourself, and if need be, make adjustments. Because that's what life is all about. I think one of the reasons why we stop doing things is because sometimes we have a really good plan and then life throws something at us that throws us off balance, and then we lose focus and then fall off track. So on a regular basis, review your plan, review your execution, and if you need to do any, and then adjust your plan to account for, any changes that have happened in your life. So those are the key things that I think if you implement, I guarantee you will be successful at the goals you set out for yourself. Now, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to go from just talking to action. So if you have a goal that you would like to improve, if you have something that you would like to work on, and you feel like you could benefit from having support from other people, comment on this video with the word goal, and I'll send you information on joining a forum that we've created for people to collaborate with each other and support each other on this journey of success. And it's completely free. There's no fee to it. There's nothing. It's really just a community that we're creating for people to collaborate and help each other out. And in summary, like I said before, if you're really serious about your goals, if you're serious about being successful at your goals, start by thinking about your why. Start by thinking about your why. Secondly, think about your goal and start with your input goals. Make those goals simple and easy to do. Do them consistently over time. Track how well you're doing them. Find someone to hold you accountable to them. Make adjustments over time if need be. And celebrate your wins. If you do this, you will be successful at those goals. Guaranteed. On that note, thanks again for watching. And like I said, and please share, like, subscribe to my channel, and comment below the video goal if you would like to be added, and you'll be sent a link to use and join the forum for like-minded people looking for accountability partners. On that note, thank you, and until next time.